Hey, Peter. Hey, Stuart. Hey, Paul. Hey, Bill. Hi, Kevin. Mark Osborne, good day. Um, that's where you're going wrong. If you stand up straight, no one will be able to see anything, Peter. Just saying that. Hey, Ross. If you want know anything at all about building model engines, go and check out Machine NZ. Don't listen to anything I say because I know nothing. Anyway, I'm feeling a whole lot better because I dropped my van off at the mechanic for a new alternator this morning and it's been done, so I've got to pick that up. And it also meant that I got half hour sleep in this morning, which was really nice. And I've had a busy day, which is makes me feel a whole lot better too. There's still a few days and I've got a long weekend at the end of it, I think. So I'm pretty feeling a bit sort of okay actually. Had a fairly busy Sunday off. Um, feels like I'm run out of time to do things and got some deadlines and they're coming up pretty quick. That's where I'm at with that. Yeah, videos are hard work and I understand that. Um, this is one job that needs to be done. And it's starting to come up, all right. Morning, James. My 3/8 Whitworth button die, which I didn't do anything about this week, and I meant to. Rats, 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 rats. Um, it's cutting a bit undersize or oversize. So these nuts don't go on as far as I would like, and these need another die nut running over. But I've set these up, and these are actually a pretty good fit in this taper. I made 4 of these, and the slot's a bit wider than I sort of had hoped, but you know how it is with slots, they end up wider. A bit of shape to them there. You've still got to have a little like cone or recessed nut to go, a washer to go on here to sit down on this cap and fit over the top, and then this one goes on here, and then this brass nut which I made goes on here. And that should be pretty good. These, which actually meant to start printing when I got home, the final patterns, but it never happened because I'm slack, because I forgot all about it mostly. This goes on here like this, so that lines up there, so that goes that way. It's open and shut. Open there, shut there. see through that. Hold it in exactly the right spot, and then you can see. So anyway, these are probably just going to end up with a grub screw in the back, and then these have got pieces that screw in here, which are just steel pins with a split pin to wash on them to hold the linkages in place. But that's starting to look pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I've got 4 of them that are pretty much the same fit in this one. I've no idea. I'm suspicious someone's made new plugs, which are these, which aren't original, for original drain cocks, or founders said drain cocks and made plugs for them, which sort of works. Hey, tea and biscuits. But all these in the bodies are all over the place. Some of them are right down here and some of them are right up here. I think it's because these are different diameters, which is not an easy thing to get right. And the bodies are all right, but I'm not sure about that. I've made these all the same diameters and they all fit beautifully in here with about the same stick out. And I'm pretty happy about that. Now, if I take them down and they all fit in the bodies and look the same, with the same gap here, I'll be very, very happy. And I won't bother making a reamer. That's this weekend's job to find that out. If they're all over the place and some of them don't go in, I'm going to need a reamer, or if they're different tapers or whatever. And then I'll probably pull them all off and bring them up here and clean them up and do them. So that's where we're at. We've got 4 of those. That's what those little washers are for. And they're starting to look pretty good. They're certainly a lot better than they were. So that was Sunday's job, was to finish those. All I had was blocks of steel with squares on the end. And now I've got enough of them to do the job anyway. Hopefully they work. So there we go. These are bad, and I've got a 3/8 2-inch button die, which seems to be a bit hard to replace. I'm having trouble with it. Kevin, the rest needs polishing is what it needs. But these nuts screw on here really easy. It's the same thread. But they don't screw on the new one, so I think the nuts, the button die I've got's not cutting properly. Anyway, so it only screws on that far and goes tight. They need polish and some wax before they're putting back on. That's what they need, but we'll see. With only bright brass on it, so we'll see how we go. So that's what I did Sunday. Also, got a length of steel. Progress of the engine. Has laid this out and machined the ends, put pins in them for a crankshaft. So that's a job when the lathe goes back to straight again, but it won't be till after the weekend, because if I've got to make a reamer, I want the top side turned round, the compound side turned round right to match. So afterwards I'll get in. Hey Dan, I'll get in and machine that up. Dan, while you're here, on behalf of the X, the ACT, the etc. Do you have? So this is what I've got to contend with all the time. Trying to do quality work and you get this sort of garbage. Anyway. Um, do you have a 3/8 Whitworth, a 3/8 16 button die that I could run over that? That's the question. Definitely might. Well, if you would have a look at some point, Steve probably will. Yeah, I'd like to get these on the engine Sunday morning while we're getting the steam up. And if it looks like it's going to work, that would be a very good thing. Anyway, make sure they fit. And if they don't fit, well, we'll put the others back on. Or we'll put this one back on and use it as it is. And if they look like they're going to fit at some point, we'll bring them home and finish them. But anyway, I need a 3/8 button die because mine's cut undersize or oversized. I don't know what it's doing. It's not cutting deep enough to put decent threads on because the old set has been around the block a few times. And I went to buy one, I went looking to buy one, and it seems like 2-inch button dies or the big ones seem to be a little bit difficult to find nowadays. There's a lot of like little fellas. You buy a 1-inch. Who wants a 1-inch, half-inch, or 3/8 button die because you'll just bust it threading anything, and you can't get enough leverage on anything. We'll see how we go. I'm probably bringing half a load of dry firewood too, so that might help too. But if we're around on Saturday, we'll see what happens on Sunday, and there's plenty to do. There's absolutely plenty to do. So if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I'd like to give these a trial run and see if they work. We wouldn't mind bleeding some brakes. We could do that, absolutely. Could bleed some brakes. Definitely might happen, absolutely. If you know anything about our weekends, definitely might is probably about as strong a language as you can get for doing something as you can get. So it's not it's a phrase it's definitely might be the right one. What's a cubic metre of tar firewood cost? This one's not costing any, which is why I'm bringing it with me. Yeah, I still haven't enough sleep, obviously. Anyway. Yeah, good firewood's hard to find. This is my experience. You've got to be selective about firewood. Anyway, Bill, there's the length of steel. It's A1, 32 by 12, something like that. That's what's remaining of it after I cut the bit off the end. It's a 500mm length. So that's what I'm making the crankshaft out. I don't know whether that's a good idea or not, but that's what we're doing. I definitely might be alright. Anyway. Learning when you drive a Bedford to always aim at the gate. Always aim for the opening. That's important. It's also important with a steamroller. Unless the opening's at the top of a steep hill, and then you aim for something that's solid enough to stop it. No, the Britannia is not selective. Well, it is. There was a lot of firewood at Glenray Timberfest last year that didn't burn particularly well, but it goes best on bits of branch out of the bush. Which is the way it's designed. It's designed basically, the Britannia is designed with a round firebox for bits of stuff that you pick up off the paddock, basically, which is excellent for that lingwood and that sort of thing, and it loves it. Whereas the Fowler roller is really designed for best quality Welsh coal, and failing that, hey Raymond. Failing that, some decent dry firewood and sleepers and things is good, which is what this is, but fence posts and things. Anyway, that's how it's going. I did promise you a tour of the other part of the workshop today. I think we did go out and have a look the other night, but that hasn't happened. Joe's had a day off yesterday, or today or something. Yesterday, I think. So he's probably feeling a heap better, but he's gone to bed. The roller reverse works well for the roller, but reverse for the Bedford might be a little bit. Changing from fourth to reverse requires some interesting driving skills that I don't think anyone who lives nearby has. 9 shopping bags of coal and nearly warm all the water in the boiler. Yeah. So there we go. That's what we're up to. That's what's happening in this neck of the woods. This place is feeling a bit crowded, and I need to put stuff away and throw stuff out, etc., etc., etc. We're getting there, but every time I do a job, I tend to get stuff out, and I'm not very good at putting it back sometimes. So there we go. I'm going to keep your mammoth going for years, yes. It'll even keep a decent sized locomotive going for quite some time, but it does have an expiry date, so you want to use it. Don't be keeping it for a rainy day. If you've got coal, I think the BTUs sort of leach out. Yeah, the trouble is, to get to the best before date on the bottom, it's like a shoe. If you've got the instructions on the sole and it's full of water, There's two types of people. There's the ones that can empty it and the ones that can't. That made a lot more sense in my head than it actually did, didn't it? Yeah. Anyway, sorry. My grandfather used to say that you probably knew someone who couldn't pour water out of a boot with the instructions written underneath. Yeah. At some point we need a trip to the foundry. That's becoming imminent. And I had sort of half thought I was going to do it this weekend, and yeah, I have sort of made up my mind to go down to Dan's. So we'll see how we go. At this point, but we need to. I've got a nameplate for a little Roby engine that really needs to be done at ASAP. It's important. It's been borrowed from someone for a little Roby engine for a mate. I've got, what else? I've got the levers for this thing, for the roller. I've got the lid for the bearings on the saw bench. That's another thing that needs fixing, and to be honest, I haven't given it as much time getting it sorted as I should have, because other stuff's a bit more pressing, but we'll see how we go. The bad language in the other room is Joe. He's just realised that he's buying a surface grinder. At the moment, he's in a pretty much absolute loop because he wants to buy a surface grinder, but they seem to be, yeah, it's a bit complicated, and he hasn't quite made up his mind, so he's just going round and round in circles. Got some things for sale. I do have some things for sale. I've got a centering microscope, which I'm very unlikely to ever really need to do work that it requires. It's not a bad thing. A centering microscope. I would swap for a decent digital micrometer, like a Mitutoyo or something, or some cash. What else? I've got a couple of micrometers that I want to get rid of because I would like to get rid of a tenth micrometer and a bit of stuff. A comparison micrometer. Don't know if it's even got any value. I guess it does. Because I'm realising I can't see as well as I could 3 years ago. This is a bit of an issue, actually. I need good light, and I need a loupe or something to read a vernier, which never ever used to be a problem. So I might move that on. It's decent micrometer. It's actually a comparison micrometer. I don't know if anyone's ever seen one. I'm sure you all have. Do them up, and that gives you basically a tolerance range. I'm not sure it returns. It probably could do with a little bit of lubrication. I might take it to work tomorrow and fix that. It's been a while since it's been out of the box. I might give it a service. Anyway, might move that on. Don't know what it's worth. No idea. It's a pretty nice micrometer, but it's not much use to me at this point because I don't do that sort of work really. And Joe does do that sort of work, but he's all digital now. Anyway, needs whale oil. Probably it needs whale oil, yes. But we've got some more modern stuff that will do a better job than whale oil. I'm not a... Whale oil's a bit hard to find, to be honest. Put some Mobius or some synthetic crap in it. Anyway, we're giving them all a bit of a clean up, and I might fix that. Put it down, free it all up, get it all going. And I might move that on. Feel like I probably should sell my depth mic and my internal mic set and upgrade them. This is very nice, but I'm struggling to read it. It gets used reasonably often, and it's not bad, but a digital one of them would be nice too. I mean, this is the old pipe dreams, but I think I need to upgrade. Still missing tools. I'm still looking for tools. This box here, which has my dial calipers in them. Don't know where they are. It's a bit scary, but they must be they're put away somewhere, and I just haven't got to them yet. So there are things like that. I've got the box. No idea where the verniers are. Need to have a bit of a look. They'll turn up, but at this point I haven't found them. This little hole gauge set, internal micrometer. So this is quite nice. It's a Lufkin. It's vintage, very much vintage. Don't know. Thinking I probably don't use one often enough, although it's more often than it used to be, to warrant getting rid of it. I don't know. It's quite a nice set. That's got me thinking now. Got no idea where it is, but got this car sorted, and I'll get a couple of other debts paid out and things, just little ones that I've got around the place, and then I might start thinking about upgrading some of that stuff. But if some of this sells in the meantime, it'll be a down payment. Probably in the last place I put them, but I've got no idea where that is, to be honest. It's one of life's mysteries. They got slipped in a little box somewhere when I was cleaning up at the old place, and I haven't seen them since. Which is a bit of a concern. But there's a lot of things like that. There's a lot of things that haven't been put away where they belong. So I've got stuff spread all over the place. Well, I kind of could have used them the last week easily, often. Got everything else here. I guess it's just a matter of putting stuff properly on marketplace until it moves. Anyway, I'm not going to look for it now, but I've got no idea where they are. It's got me thinking though. There's about 4 boxes here that I haven't unpacked, so my wildest guess, it's in one of those boxes. Anyway, that's where I'm at. That's the most likely scenario, is that's where they are. Why they didn't go back in the original box, I don't know. I'm not going to look for them now and then proceeds to look for them. That's 2 engines that need reassembling. One of them was disassembled when I moved from Tasmania and never reassembled it, and there's another engine that didn't quite get finished maybe. The stuff that sits there until you need to play cards, that's exactly it. There's another box here. I don't know what's in this box. We could have a look in the box, couldn't we? Showed you that. It's coming together pretty well. Pretty happy with that so far. No major stuff ups. Pretty happy with these too. Also no major stuff ups. Fix that tap. I showed you this tap on social media that really wasn't a bottoming tap, but we did a job on that and fixed that and tapped that hole, which we needed to do, which is that one there, which is only about the diameter deep, which is why I bought the tap. Haven't as yet chased up, might put some of this stuff in this box, haven't as yet chased up where to get a bubble level for my more and right combination square. more stuff in this box than there was before, which I'm pretty happy about. So actually making bits and pieces, I think. Put that there too. And that. This box is just parts for the little engine, some of them which will get used and some of them won't. What was that? A 3mm slot drill packet. Maybe I had that out at some point. No idea where. This is a box I haven't really looked in yet. Let's see what's in here. Right, there's an aquarium pump. Don't even ask. Probably just toss that out, to be honest. There's a wire wheel on a bolt, which is useful for de-rusting parts in the lathe sometimes. There's a box of Agfa Scala process black and white slide film. No one's processed Scala process film for about 20 years, so that's next to useless too. We'll toss that. There's a dial test indicator box. No dial test indicator in it. I'm not sure where that went. It must be here somewhere. There's a Tintin DVD. You know I don't have a DVD player yet, or anymore, so I'm not keeping them. The eSun 3D printing catalogue, we could toss that out. There's some information about the recovery of my Centrelink debt. That's about 100 years old. There isn't one. Centrelink debt, I mean. There's a receipt for my driver's license. Probably could keep that. Maybe I don't need to, I don't know. I've paid it since then. There's an electric scooter instruction manual. And some other bits and pieces. It's a very excellent book called Peter by Kate Walker, which was a short list on the Book of the Year, Children's Book of the Year Award in young adult fiction. It's about a boy who falls in love with another boy. It's a very good book, but probably not everyone's thing. Could go in my bookcase. There's a receipt for some prints from D&J Photographics, St John Street, Launceston, Tasmania. No date on it because that would be telling. Yeah, not even on my PC. I don't have a PC. There's a DVD here, or a CDR, with Aeromator instructions from Myford Boy. That's probably worth hanging on to. Gosh, why do you keep all this stuff? There's a bamboo tablet there. Probably that needs something I probably ought to put in the other room with my computer stuff. There's a computer fan. Not sure that's much use to anyone. There's 2 screws and 2 wall plugs for something. Not sure that's any use to anyone either. It's a bit of balsa wood. Not feeling the love for that. There's a keyring wallet. It's a very good way to lose your money with your keys. See, that's the trouble. I've got all this stuff. There's a roll film back for a 7 by 12 centimetre camera. A lot of this stuff could probably go. Well, I will be tossing most of it. There's an old pair of glasses. They might be useful to keep. If I can actually see through them. There's a gear. I don't have a clue what that's off. Anyway, we got one. Drawer for a broken drill bits. Usually I sharpen them or toss them for drill bits. There's some temper colour buttons that I made. That's very cool. There's a book for a Seiko quartz system stopwatch. Very unlikely to keep it. There's a card for North Pine Trades Guild. There's the foundry. Does anyone seriously use centimetres? Camera operators do, yes. There's a wire brush. You just love looking through boxes like this. It's an expensive pair of prescription sunglasses that I never ever wore because they got the prescription wrong. This was sign written on here in London by a big American signwriter. It was pretty nice. Yeah, this is all piled up much too high. There's stuff to go in the bin. There's some splinter removal gel. That might be useful. Righto. You know what we haven't found? In this box. We did find 12-inch steel wool. Or a 30 centimetre one if you're one of those people. It's a broken selfie stick. We could toss that. Get a bag in a minute and toss all this stuff out. The Ancestry DNA kit that I've already sent off and got the results back and discovered that I'm 1%, something like 1% Bengali. There you go. Yeah, I've got a work colleague who uses centimetres. He's a boot maker. What we have is some electronic kits here. We have probably a unit that would run the project and some. These have a home. There's one of those cool digital watch kits there too. Maybe one day I'll make that. Most of this stuff though is very pointless. There's an incense burner. It's a computer mouse and some batteries. There's a foundry pattern. You can put the foundry pattern somewhere. That's for the engine that we shouldn't name. It's a tin of dubbin. There's a stack of business cards that I may or may not need. I'm probably going to toss most of this stuff. There's some plugs for a Jobo. Film processing plant. There's a burner. Look at that. Burner for Stuart for a Kenneth Wells traction engine. So that's something we found. There's a couple of rolls of film. Not sure whether we're keeping them. And it's actually another one of those gears, which is really useful. However, one thing we didn't find in that box was a pair of verniers, which we weren't hardly expecting to. But we do have two of these. No idea what they're out of. They've got a clutch in between. Anyway. Not in that box. So I got no idea. No idea. German espresso and native 90 proof 50% caffeine. Yeah, fair enough. I'm mostly Scottish. Like over 70% Scottish. Tiny little bit Irish. And probably another 19% or something like that. Or 15% English, and the rest mixture of Italian and Dutch and Norwegian and Bengal. So who knows? There you go. It's sort of half interesting. I found it was interesting. Find a box full of electronic parts and put some of these things in it. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Anyway, I've got no idea. Might be that box. No, don't think it's in this box. What's in this box? Pair of side cutters. And a knife that I don't use since I got Bill Baggins. And a pair of toenail scissors. A C-spanner for something. I'm guessing it's for something. Oh, look at that. It's a deburring tool. Nice Noga deburring tool. It's a pair of tin snips. Little fellas. There's Archimedes drill. There's a piece off the Lorch lathe that we replaced many years ago and kept for posterity and probably shouldn't have. And there's a scraper. Which takes a safety razor blade, I believe. Yep, there's a rusty razor blade. We take that out. What we have here is a box of new razor blades. How cool is that? You can put one of them back in. Look at that. Launch curious? Don't become launch curious. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Tin snips for little fellas. Very useful tin snips for cutting up a bit of shim for spacing something out or packing something out. Very useful pair of snips. I've got a chain parting tool for a bike chain. Not a particularly good one. Got a pair of vice grips that are actually genuine vice grips. They're probably all right. I've got an electrical plug, Australian electrical socket actually, off an extension cord. Probably because I need a suicide cord for something and I chopped the end of it off and put it on an electric motor. I've got a gasket cutter for circles. It's a bit flash. I've got a random snap-on pin punch. I've got a tracer deep hole pen. Which is not ideal. It's not as good as the other deep hole pen I've got, to be honest. That one's an assortment of pin punches. That's tripod mount, flash mount. There's an ER16, ER20 collet nut that's seen better days. Who can tell me what this is, everyone? Come on, you old people who have families must know what this is. It's a clamp. There we go, there's the quiz for you guys. You've got 8 minutes. What's that? It swings out of the way. There you go. Got a Swiss Army knife, which is next to useless, to be honest. What else is here? No, it's not a cat denutter. These might be. A pair of wire strippers. Made by the Maslek wire stripper, bib wire stripper and cutter. Made by Mass Batteries, made in England. It's got a little disc there for adjusting it. Flow restrictor for fluid hose. It is actually a flow restrictor for a fluid hose, but that one has a more specific use. And stainless steel, these are giveaway. Very nice little pair of end cutters there, which are too good to take to work, but would be very useful if I did. I reckon there's someone's project, those they could do with a little bit of TLC to tidy them up, but they've got a screw in them to adjust them. But very, very pretty pair of end cutters. Don't know where I picked them up. Got a 1/2-inch BSF bolt. Oh, that's probably what it is. I'm guessing it's the same tool. I know where that one come from though, so for a spark plug gap gauge. How do I get so much useless junk? I've got probably a thread gauge of some sort for something. Got the end off an indicator holder. Oh, a hammer. Look at that. Pretty decent little hammer. Decent handle. Nice hammer. Also too good to take to work. It's a more useful pair of side cutters. These have seen better days, poor things. They don't close up properly. They need a little bit of work with a file probably. And some work on the grinder. But they're a fairly useful pair of angle side cutters. There's a drill out of my drill set. I wonder what size that is. Where's my micrometer go? Good question. With no particularly excellent answer. It says that it's 7mm. Let's put that away. It's stupid, very difficult to read. What we already have is a 7mm drill in there, so I don't know, that's a bit of an enigma, isn't it? Now I've got a bit of electrical specs outer, which isn't much use to anyone. Anyway, I believe this to be an umbilical cord clamp, but yeah, it's a fluid limiter. There you go. So, it's another very useful box of junk that hasn't. Stuff needs sorting out. I don't think we've achieved anything there. I need to get over there and put all this into a box with hand tools because there's lots of them. These side cutters probably live on the bench most of the time, but they're a good pair of cutters then. The scraper could go in the van. Side cutters don't cut flush, that's right. They don't. Anyway, who was becoming launch curious? Fight against that. So there's two boxes that my good calipers aren't in. I've got no idea where they are. Mystery. They're probably just in a toolbox over there or on top of a toolbox. The shed shoppies, yeah, don't buy a launch. It's an unhappy and fruitless journey in which, unless you're particularly focused on the end goal, you'll probably find yourself. It could easily be in the last one, but I don't think it's in that one. Could be in that one. Everything else is in that one. I really don't want to empty that out because I've got to put stuff away if I empty that out. As it is, I've emptied 2 boxes, so I've got to put stuff away. Might have a look at these glasses and we might throw these out too. Need to sell some of your watchmakers, lads. Yeah, we'll set one up. Not sure why we're keeping these glasses because they seem to be missing a part. There you go. That's a mystery. There you go. Raymond's onto it. These are a pair of Calvin Kleins and they're nice glass frames. Except that happened. And probably they could be fixed because these have been silver soldered about 4 times. See that silver soldering job in the front there? That's not a bad effort. I thought I was pretty impressed about that. There you go, I did that. I actually see more through these glasses than I can through the ones I've got on. How do you make that out? That's actually a bit of a mystery. Don't know. Anyway, might have to go and get the prescription updated. I'm not sure the prescription with these was really spot on. That's awesome. Yeah. Check out Winky's Workshop. That's a pretty good channel. Oh, well, I'll keep you posted if I find my calipers. But they should be back in the box. I'm not sure why they're not. It's one of the mysteries of life. There's Bill's had quite a lot of whiskey apparently. And thank you, Peter, for that. Appreciate that. How much whiskey precisely have you had, Bill? We could put this back here. See, that'll actually put something away. I hope you realise that. Anyway, that's where we've been. That's what we've done. There's a bit of a heads up and a sort of a look at the workshop and what's happened. The state of getting set up is all over the place, as you've probably already worked out. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know when that's going to happen. Bill hasn't had enough whiskey. Don't tell him that. But I'm going to find a plastic bag in a minute and throw some of this stuff because I don't think there's a lot of it's worth keeping. and we might, yeah, toss the boxes out. Anyone else got anything happening? What other exciting things are happening in YouTube world? Craig's got a big jump in subscribers because he's posted a couple of very good videos recently, but he's in bed with his extended family or whatever he's in bed with, and so he's not on live stream. Who else is out there that's done some cool stuff? There's a whole set of engines that Myford Boys made that are very, very pretty cool and fairly cute and fairly straightforward if you wanted projects and you lived close enough to get them posted. There's some cool stuff. Thought they were worth a look. Oh, James got a box full of old tools, some cool stuff there, and some less cool stuff. A lot of odd spanners and wrenches and things, footprints and so forth. Check him out on Instagram or Facebook and follow him because he's always posting cool stuff he finds. Dan's bought another steam engine. No, I don't think he has bought another steam engine. Pretty safe saying that, but I don't think he has actually bought another steam engine. Raymond's building a traction engine. I wonder how that's getting on. Ross Nesbitt's also building a traction engine. He's got a new channel. Ross, plug for your channel. What's your channel called? If you're still there. Castings are filing up. Okay, that's excellent. Sounds like you got into it. No pressure at all. Yeah, there's more pressure than you think. There'll always be pressure while I'm here. There's my metric micrometer. So I wonder where the box for my metric micrometer is. This is not a particularly good micrometer. It's Michitoyo, right? And you would think that it'd be the best of the best, you know? It's made in Japan. All those sort of things. It's had a fairly hard life. I mean, it's done a bit of work. But it's almost impossible to read. If we can show this on camera, we probably can't. We could try and focus it a bit. Right. This line disappears before we get to the... See, that line disappears before we get to 0. And we're never quite sure whether we... See, that there is reading 1.5 millimeters. But you've got to guess that because it's not until you open up a bit further you can actually see the 0.5 millimeter mark. By the time you get back here to 0, it's disappeared. So I don't know if that's just this micrometer or whether it's all these micrometers. Oh, look at that. There's something else that was in this box that we didn't look at. There you go. One of those. I was going to say something about that and we must have got sidetracked. Don't think we had a look in this end box. Compartment, anyway. This is a bottle opener from a very good looking guy in Vietnam. Yeah, Vietnam. Go check out his channel because occasionally he posts very good videos He makes some cool stuff. But this was a gift from him. It's probably going to hang on the nail like it used to, and then I'll use it. Yeah, anyway, there wasn't anything exciting in there. There's a pin vise, one of. Is that a good set or is that another one? No idea. I think it's another one because it's missing the end. So there we go. It's all over the show, and I haven't had any sort of success really in the last week cleaning any of it up. But I've actually got a box of stuff out at the moment and put it everywhere, so I better get a bag and put that in. Kaylin, what are you making? What exciting things are you making? What are you working on? Are you travelling? Whereabouts are you? What's happening? Just sleeping, that's fair enough. I can see where that comes from. Sounds like a very good idea. Trying to make some babies. Gosh. Don't. Don't push yourself. You'll end up all run down and lethargic and anemic and stuff like our Hereford bull in the paddock who's had a hard season. He needs a bit of time off to actually get his strength back before the next season. So just be mindful of that because you run yourself into the ground and that sort of thing. And it never ends well. Never ended well for anyone. So some words of advice from someone who's older and not quite as good looking. You really got me wondering where those calipers are, anyway. It's like marriage. Is the welding clamp laid on the mill? No, it's not on the mill, I don't think, because I haven't seen it, because I've been sort of wondering where it was all week. It could have been on the mill, but it's not. But we're still looking, so there's every chance that it'll turn up. To be in a box. There's still one box here that I haven't looked in. I'm not going to get it up on the bench and look in it, but we'll just have a rattle around in it. There's a lot of taps and dies and things in this box that have been tossed in. There's quite a lot of silver still around that needs sorting out and measuring. There's a micrometer stand. And some odd Lord bits. A pair of toenail clippers. And a couple more inspection mirrors. A set of gear cutter gears. Anyway. Married to Bridgeport a while back, that's fair enough. Anyway. Are you buying a mini mill, Peter? Marrying up if you can. There's always a box that I haven't looked in. Yeah, I'm not going to though tonight. We'll go through and I'll find them at some point, but it mightn't be this week. We'll see what happens. If I'm back here on Tuesday, I might. A day off here at home. Anyway, take care everyone. I'm out. I'm going to call it a night. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate the look through the huge box of junk, or boxes of junk, and the impetus to put some of it away, and the feedback on projects and things like that. And I'll say good night. Catch you next week, but we'll see how we go over the weekend. I might go live on Discord or something if we're down fridges, or if we've got an engine in steam or a roller or something. We'll see how we go with that. Anyway, take care. Conversely, if I go up to the Steam Fair, there might actually be a video of that too. So we'll see how we go. Take care. Be kind to each other. And more soon, guys.